one of the most sought-after treasures in modern coin collecting. That coin is the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, and if you've got one in your collection, you might be sitting on a goldmine. Imagine finding a coin so small, so common-looking, that most people wouldn't think twice about spending it, yet it's secretly worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. Imagine holding a coin that the U.S. Mint never intended to be rare, but due to tiny mistakes and mysterious varieties, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 with a bold vision. The U.S. Mint wanted to modernize the dollar coin, smaller, lighter, and featuring a true American hero. And for the first time in U.S. history, a real woman, Susan B. Anthony, appeared on circulating currency. She was a trailblazer for women's rights, a voice for equality, and a symbol of American courage. Her portrait, framed by 13 stars and the word liberty, became the centerpiece of this revolutionary coin, but it doesn't stop there. Because the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar doesn't just have two mintmark types, it also hides a range of rare mint errors that have made it one of the most fascinating coins of the modern era. Imagine a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on the wrong planchet, for example, on a dime or quarter blank. These off-metal errors are incredibly rare and can sell for $5,000 to $20,000, depending on their condition and uniqueness. Then there are double strike errors, where the coin was struck twice by the dies, causing the image of Susan B. Anthony's face or the lettering to appear slightly shifted or overlapping. Dramatic examples of these errors have sold for $1,000 to $5,000. Collectors also look for off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or misaligned. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin. A perfectly preserved proof with an off-center error can bring thousands of dollars, and then there's the ultimate prize, the possibility of a transitional planchet error or a double denomination strike. If a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar were struck over another coin, or on a leftover silver planchet from the Eisenhower dollar era, it would be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions. One particularly stunning example, a 1979 S-proof dollar graded PR70 deep cameo by PCGS. Sold for over $16,000. Another coin with a striking error, a partial collar and die clash, sold for several thousand. Every year, new discoveries surface, and every year, collectors push the boundaries of what these coins are worth, and let's not forget, there's always the chance that something even rarer is still out there. Somewhere in a forgotten proof set, in a drawer, or in a collection passed down through generations, a coin might be hiding, a coin with an unknown mintmark variety or an unheard of error. If discovered, it could shatter price records and rewrite the books on modern U.S. coinage. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American history, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but some rare error varieties have shocked collectors by fetching mind-blowing prices at auctions. We're talking about coins that have turned everyday pocket change into life-changing treasure. So, before you spend that dull-looking dollar coin, you might want to grab a magnifying glass, because you could be holding a fortune in your hands. The Susan B. Anthony dollar made its debut in 1979, marking a major milestone in U.S. coinage. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman, the pioneering suffragist Susan B. Anthony, on the obverse. The U.S. Mint intended it to replace the $1 bill, saving millions in printing costs. The plan seemed genius: create a small, lightweight dollar coin that would be easy to use and long-lasting. But there was one problem: it looked too much like a quarter point. One of the most famous varieties collectors chase is the 1979 D wide rim or near-date version, but here's the twist: the wide rim was actually a Philadelphia issue, not Denver. That's why collectors keep an extra eye on the D-mint coins, because any variation that resembles that wide rim or an off-metal strike on a Denver coin could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine this: a 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a nickel planchet. That means instead of being made on a $1 copper nickel blank, it was accidentally struck on the smaller 5-cent piece blank. These types of minting mistakes are extraordinarily rare and collectible because they combine the wrong metal with the wrong design. One of these has sold for over $15,000, depending on its condition. Then there's the off-center strike error, where part of the design is missing or shifted dramatically. Some of these can show only half of Susan B. Anthony's face, with blank space where the rest of the design should be. These visually dramatic errors are highly prized by collectors, often selling from $500 to over $2,000, depending on the degree of the misstrike, but the excitement doesn't stop there. There are also double die errors, where parts of the coin's design were struck twice, creating a shadowed or overlapping effect on features like the date, the lettering Liberty, or the eagle on the reverse. Clear examples of double dies can skyrocket in value, especially in high-grade condition, with prices hitting the $1,000 to $5,000 range for strong, well-defined doubling. For example, a regular 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition might only be worth its face value $1. But if you find one in pristine mint state 67 or 68, it could easily sell for $100 to $500, sometimes more, simply because high-grade examples are so difficult to find. Even the ordinary 1979 D coins hold value when in top condition. According to grading services, coins that reach MS68 or higher are exceedingly rare. With perfect luster, no contact marks, and strong strikes, these can reach four-figure prices among registry set collectors competing for the finest examples. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, the one that started it all. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes these coins worth a fortune, and why they've become a modern legend in American numismatics. That's right. Some of these seemingly ordinary coins, struck over 40 years ago, have shocked collectors and auction houses alike with values that most people can hardly believe. When the Susan B. Anthony dollar made its debut in 1979, it was supposed to be the next big thing. The U.S. Mint wanted to retire the bulky Eisenhower dollar and replace it with something smaller, easier to carry, and cheaper to produce. The result was a revolutionary new dollar coin, the first to feature a real woman, the famous suffragist Susan B. Anthony, who had fought tirelessly for women's rights and equality. While a typical 1979 P narrow rim dollar might only be worth $1 or $2 in circulated condition, the wide rim version can fetch $100 to $500 in mint state. And if you happen to find one graded MS67 or higher, the value can soar to over $3,000. But that's just the beginning, because the true treasures lie in the rare error coins. Among the rarest 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar errors are off-center strikes, multiple strikes, clipped planchets, and strikes on the wrong metal blanks. Each type of error tells a story and can bring unbelievable prices at auction. Take, for example, a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a nickel planchet. Instead of being made from the standard copper nickel dollar blank, this coin was mistakenly struck on a 5-cent blank, smaller, lighter, and missing parts of the design. Only a handful of these exist, and depending on condition, they've sold for $10,000 to $15,000 or more. Then there are double die errors, where the design elements, the date, letters, or stars appear slightly doubled because of a misalignment during the die-making process. A strong double die obverse on a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar could fetch $1,000 to $5,000, especially in mint condition, and one of the most visually stunning errors. The off-center strike, where part of the design is missing, shifted dramatically to one side. These can range from minor misalignments to extreme errors where half of Susan B. Anthony's face is missing. Depending on the severity, these coins can bring anywhere from $500 to $3,000. And let's not forget the transitional planchet errors, coins struck on leftover blanks from previous years or intended for other denominations. If a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar was struck on a 40% silver Eisenhower dollar blank, for example, it would be one of the rarest modern U.S. coins ever discovered. While no confirmed examples exist yet, experts believe such a coin could be worth well into the millions if found and authenticated. Even the normal 1979 P dollars can hold surprising value in high condition. Because these coins circulated heavily, finding one without scratches, marks, or dullness is extremely difficult. A flawless mint state or proof-like 1979 P can command $1,000 to $2,000 among registry collectors who compete for the finest known examples. And when we talk about the 1979 P wide rim near date, things get even more exciting. This coin has become a modern classic, a variety every serious collector wants. In top condition, a wide rim graded MS68 has sold for more than $6,000, and prices continue to rise as more people realize how scarce pristine examples